You thought leaving me would destroy me. You thought betrayal would break me. You thought walking away would end me. It didn't. It killed the weaker version of me. And now all that's left is something you can't touch, can't bend, can't own. When I begged, you ignored me. When I broke, you laughed. When I shattered, you stepped on the pieces. And now I've rebuilt myself out of blades. Every shard of pain has been sharpened into a weapon. You left me empty. But emptiness doesn't stay hollow. It fills with rage, with clarity, with discipline so cold it makes your love look cheap. And that's the difference now. I don't need warmth. I don't need comfort. I don't need anyone. Weakness dies here. The version of me that cried, that waited, that begged for closure, gone. The version of me that held on to people who didn't give a fuck, gone. The version of me that feared being alone, dead and buried. Now I move with silence. Now I build with discipline. Now I walk away without a second glance, because you don't get second chances with me anymore. Every betrayal is a receipt. Every lie is a reminder. Every knife in the back became armor on my chest. You left me with nothing, so I became untouchable. Here's the truth: you were never real. The loyalty was fake. The love was shallow. The friendship was a mask, and I was blind enough to believe it, but not anymore. Now I see clearly. Now I don't flinch when someone leaves. Now I don't crumble when someone lies. Now I don't chase anyone who dares to treat me as less. I stopped asking, stopped begging, stopped waiting. I stopped pretending that I was ever the broken one, because I wasn't broken. I was blinded. And the moment I tore the blindfold off, I realized you were the weak one all along. Empty is dangerous. When you strip someone of everything, when you leave them for dead, they come back with nothing left to lose. And someone with nothing to lose can't be controlled, can't be manipulated, can't be broken. You thought you won. You thought you walked away clean. But you don't win when you create a monster. You don't win when the silence you left behind grows louder than your presence ever was. You don't win when the person you abandoned becomes the reason you feel irrelevant. Because that's what you are now, irrelevant. The world doesn't owe me peace. The world doesn't owe me love. The world doesn't owe me loyalty. And I don't owe anyone my weakness. So I've traded softness for steel. I've traded trust for discipline. I've traded please don't leave me for get the fuck out of my way. The past version of me would have begged you to stay. The new version of me doesn't even notice you're gone. Because the second you left, I burned the bridge, salted the earth, and never looked back. They say heartbreak humbles you. They say betrayal teaches you lessons. But for me, it didn't humble me. It hardened me. It didn't teach me a lesson. It gave me a weapon. I don't cry over lessons anymore. I don't beg for answers. I don't care who's staying, who's leaving, who's pretending. Because I don't measure my worth by who chooses me. I measure it by how fast I cut off anyone who disrespects me. You left me empty. But emptiness gave me clarity, and clarity gave me strength, and strength gave me silence, and silence is the loudest revenge you'll ever hear, because you won't see me post about it, you won't see me cry about it, you won't see me chase you. You'll just feel it, the cold absence of someone who stopped giving a fuck about you. Listen carefully, weakness dies here, fear dies here, attachment dies here. Everything soft that made me a target, dead. What's left is discipline. What's left is focus. What's left is someone who doesn't break, doesn't bend, doesn't need. You think I hate you. I don't. I don't waste hate on the irrelevant. I don't waste anger on the disposable. I don't waste breath on the forgotten. You're not an enemy. You're not even worth that. You're nothing. And nothing stays buried in the past. I left you dead the moment I chose myself. I left you dead the moment I stopped explaining. I left you dead the moment I realized you don't deserve to exist in my story anymore. This is the final truth. You didn't break me, you built me. You didn't destroy me. You triggered me, you didn't kill me. You killed the version of me that ever needed you. And that was your last mistake. Because now I don't need anyone. Not love, not loyalty, not validation. Not you. Love wasn't the poison. I was. I let it eat me alive. I handed over my power like it was worthless. I begged, I cried. I broke myself for people who wouldn't even bleed for me. That wasn't love. That was suicide in slow motion. I kept calling it sacrifice, calling it loyalty, calling it heart. But let's tell the truth, it was weakness dressed up as devotion. I wasn't killed by love. I killed myself by giving everything to people who gave nothing back. The old me died the moment I realized I was on my knees for someone who never deserved me. The begging, the hoping, the desperate, please don't leave me. That version of me, buried. That body doesn't exist anymore. You want to know why I don't feel anymore? Because I burned it all. I stopped pretending feelings were strength. Feelings without discipline are chains, and I've cut them off. The truth is brutal. Nobody fucked me over worse than I fucked myself. Every tear I wasted was a bullet I fired into my own chest. Every night I stayed hoping someone would care was another day I killed my own self-respect. I was my own executioner. I built the prison. I locked the door. They didn't kill me. I did. But here's the part nobody talks about. Once you've destroyed yourself completely, once you've hit the ground where nothing is left, you become untouchable. Because what else can you take from me? What else can you threaten me with? I already killed the part of me that cared. Love didn't kill me. It taught me I was too weak to live with open hands. Now I live with closed fists. I don't chase. I don't beg. I don't wait. I don't fucking care who stays or who leaves. If you go, the door shuts forever. If you stay, it's on my terms. And if you try to break me again, you'll find there's nothing left to break. I killed the soft parts, the needy parts, the fragile hope that someone would save me. Nobody's coming. Nobody's ever been coming. It was always me versus me. And when I finally understood that I didn't cry, I laughed. Because the joke was on me the whole time. Love didn't kill me, I did. I starved the weak self until it died. I burned every memory of begging. I carved discipline into the empty space it left behind. And now I don't need love. I don't need validation. I don't need anyone clapping for me, texting me, holding me. I need results. I need silence. I need the kind of control that comes from knowing nobody owns me anymore. I've buried the old self deep, the weak self, the one who thought they were incomplete without someone else. That grave is unmarked, no flowers, no tears, just dirt and silence, and every step I take now is on top of that grave. Every breath I take is proof I chose survival over fantasy. Every win I earn is revenge on the old me that thought love mattered more than self-respect. Don't confuse this with bitterness. Don't confuse this with hate. This is clarity, the kind that hurts, the kind that stings, the kind that makes you realize you wasted years chasing ghosts. Nobody is worth the destruction of your soul. Nobody is worth the humiliation of begging. Nobody is worth your tears except you. So I stand here with nothing left but control, no hope, no illusions. Just the sharp edge of discipline and the cold silence of someone who doesn't break anymore. I don't wait for love. I don't fight for it. I don't even speak its name. Because love didn't kill me. I did. And I'll keep killing every weak piece of me until there's nothing left but fire. Love didn't destroy me. I destroyed the part of me that needed it. They smiled at you. They clapped for you. They cheered when you were weak. But behind closed doors, they sharpened the fucking knife. Fake friends don't love you. They study you. They wait. They take notes on your insecurities and keep receipts on your failures. They pretend to be allies while secretly hoping you fall flat, because your success makes them feel smaller. Understand this. No one betrays you faster than the people who once swore they'd never leave. That's the sickest truth. Strangers don't stab you in the back. They don't even get close enough. The blade always comes from the ones you trusted, the ones you let inside. And when it happens, you break. But breaking isn't weakness. Breaking is exposure. The mask comes off, and you see the world as it is, full of parasites wearing smiles. Stop giving passes to snakes just because they once stood beside you. Stop pretending loyalty exists where it doesn't. You're not crazy. You're not paranoid. You felt the shift. You saw the cracks. You knew the energy was off, and you still gave them the benefit of the doubt. That's on you. Not anymore. Every fake friend is dead to me. Every backstab is fuel. Every lie is ammunition. I don't need apologies. I don't need closure. I don't need explanations. When you show me who you are, you're erased. Because loyalty isn't proven in comfort. It's proven in silence, in absence, in struggle. Anyone can stand next to you when life is easy. Watch who vanishes when the lights go out. Watch who celebrates when you're at your lowest. Those are your enemies. They just don't have the courage to say it to your face. Here's the rule: if they don't clap when you win, cut them off. If they're not present when you suffer, cut them off. If they betray you once, they'll betray you twice. And if they try to come back, remember the knife is still dripping. You don't need fake loyalty. You don't need fragile friendships. You don't need the illusion of connection. What you need is silence, discipline, and a spine made of fire. Fake friends are a disease. They drain you, they distract you, they disguise themselves as support, but secretly root for your destruction. Remove them like cancer. Cut deep, don't flinch. You're not losing people. You're losing dead weight. You're not getting colder. You're getting sharper. You're not becoming bitter. You're becoming bulletproof. Don't chase explanations. Don't hunt for closure. Don't beg for loyalty from people who never had the backbone to stand for you in the first place. Begging for respect is weakness. Demanding loyalty is pointless. You don't demand what you can replace with silence. Some of the people closest to you are praying for your failure. That's not paranoia. That's survival instinct. Trust it. Listen to it. Protect your name like it's gold, because to them, your downfall is entertainment. Smile back if you want. Play dumb if you want. But never forget what they showed you. Never ignore the knife. You survived betrayal once. That means you're dangerous now. That means you know the rules of the game. Trust fewer, test everyone. Keep your circle small, or better yet, keep it empty. Silence doesn't betray you. Loneliness doesn't gossip. Discipline doesn't stab you in the back. They think you need them. That's the joke. The day you realize you don't, they collapse. Fake friends thrive on your dependence. They live off your kindness. They eat off your silence. Starve them. Disappear. Replace their noise with your grind. Replace their presence with your evolution. You don't owe anyone a second chance. You don't owe anyone an explanation. You don't owe anyone shit. So let them talk. Let them laugh. Let them celebrate your losses. The silence after you rise will be louder than their gossip. The absence of your presence will choke them harder than any words ever could. This isn't bitterness. This is clarity. This is war, and war doesn't need sympathy. War doesn't need friends. War doesn't need loyalty from traitors. I don't want fake love. I don't want fragile support. I don't want apologies from snakes. I want distance. I want silence. I want to stand so far above them that my existence becomes their punishment. Remember this: fake friends don't betray you because you're weak. They betray you because you're strong. Because you're a reminder of what they'll never be. Because your light exposes their shadows. So cut ties without warning. Burn bridges without regret. Delete names without hesitation. Survival is more important than nostalgia. You don't heal by holding on. You heal by walking away and never looking back. They gave you knives. You turned them into weapons. They gave you betrayal. You turned it into discipline. They gave you lies. You turned them into silence. You don't lose when fake friends leave. You win. You evolve. You rise. And the next time they see you, they'll know you can't stab what's already untouchable. Fake friends are nothing but knives. I don't fear knives anymore. I sharpen them. They thought you'd swallow the disrespect. They thought you'd keep quiet. They thought you'd laugh it off, play it cool, act like it didn't bother you. But here's the truth: every single disrespectful word, every little dismissal, every time someone treated you like you didn't matter, it burned into your chest like fire. And you didn't forget. You never forget. You stayed quiet. You walked away. But don't confuse silence with weakness. Silence is where the war begins. Disrespect is war. You don't have to scream. You don't have to fight in the street. You don't have to throw fists. Your revenge is quieter, colder, sharper. You don't lower yourself to their level. You rise above it, but you never forget. You use it. Every smirk they threw at you, every time they underestimated you, every time they rolled their eyes, cut you off, ignored your words, treated your presence like it was nothing, all of it becomes your weapon. Disrespect is not something you explain away. It's not something you forgive. It's a debt, and debts get collected. You don't argue anymore. You don't explain anymore. You don't justify anymore. That era of your life is dead. When someone disrespects you, you don't talk. You don't negotiate. You don't give them the satisfaction of a reaction. You do what they don't expect. You disappear. You grind. You build. You make yourself untouchable. And one day your silence becomes too loud for them to ignore. The people who disrespected you will have to watch you from a distance. Successful, unbothered, unreachable. And that will eat them alive, because nothing hurts a disrespectful person more than being irrelevant to you. Nothing cuts deeper than being proven wrong without a single word spoken. Respect isn't given, respect is taken. And if they didn't give it to you willingly, you'd take it by force. Not with fists, not with screams, but with your results. You want to call me weak. Watch me work in silence until you choke on your own doubt. You want to treat me like I don't matter. Watch me build until my existence is impossible to ignore. You want to throw disrespect my way. Good, that's fuel. That's gasoline. That's the fire that will burn your expectations to ash. The old me would have begged for validation. The old me would have argued, explained, tried to prove my worth. The old me is dead. Now I don't prove shit with words. I prove it with dominance. You don't get to disrespect me and walk away clean. You don't get to belittle me and live rent free in my head. No, you gave me the greatest gift, a reason to go harder, sharper, colder, a reason to lock in. This is not about revenge in the shallow sense. This isn't about proving something to them. This is about proving something to myself, that I will never again allow anyone to make me feel small, that I will never again let disrespect slide. Not because I'll argue, not because I'll fight, but because I'll rise so high above them that their disrespect becomes a fucking joke. Disrespect is war, and I don't lose wars. I don't chase, I don't beg, I don't cry for respect. I become so disciplined, so focused, so obsessed, that respect is the only possible response. You know what's funny about disrespect? It always comes from people beneath you. No one above you is disrespecting you. They don't have time. Disrespect only comes from the insecure, the weak, the envious, the ones who can't stomach the thought of you winning. So let them laugh, let them mock, let them try to put you down. Their disrespect is nothing but proof that they see something in you they don't see in themselves. And that terrifies them. That's why they disrespect you. Not because you're weak, but because they already know you're strong. Remember, this respect isn't asked for, it's earned. But disrespect, that's declared war. Every time they laughed at you, remember it when you're grinding. Every time they cut you off, remember it when you're building. Every time they treated you like a joke, remember it when you're winning in silence. You want to hurt them. Stop talking. Stop explaining. Stop giving them access to your energy. The greatest revenge is absolute silence while you rise. Disrespect is war. And you don't fight this war with words. You fight it with patience. You fight it with results. You fight it with becoming the kind of person they could never reach, never touch. Never break. This isn't about ego. This isn't about being liked. This is about self-respect. About standing so firm in your value that anyone who disrespects you writes their own death sentence in your world. They don't exist anymore. You don't forgive disrespect. You don't tolerate it. You don't explain it away. You cut it off. You let it rot. You build without it. And when you've built, when you've risen, when you've become what they swore you couldn't, their disrespect won't matter. It won't sting. It won't even register. Because you'll know the truth. You won the war without saying a fucking word. Disrespect is war, and I don't lose wars. Every time you speak to defend yourself, you hand them power. Every time you argue back, you show them you still care. Every time you try to prove your side, you admit they're worth the effort. They're not. Silence doesn't mean weakness. Silence means I already won. Because when I walk away without a word, I make them irrelevant. People expect noise when they hurt you. They expect a fight, a meltdown, a storm of emotion. That's what they feed on. But when you give them nothing, that's starvation. That's execution. Silence forces them to sit with what they did. Silence forces them to wonder if you're planning something bigger. Silence keeps them awake at night because they can't read you anymore. You want revenge. Stop talking. You want peace. Stop responding. You want power. Stop explaining. I've learned the most dangerous move isn't screaming, it's vanishing. No goodbye, no closure, no explanation. Just gone. The world doesn't respect noise. The world respects results. And results come when you shut the fuck up and build. Talkers lose. Builders win. Talkers argue. Builders disappear into discipline. Talkers fight for attention. Builders make themselves so undeniable they can't be ignored. That's the difference. You can waste your life proving yourself to people who will never respect you, or you can starve them of access. Silence is not weakness. It's a strategy. Because while they're busy talking, you're busy working. While they're busy lying, you're busy creating. While they're busy watching, you're busy leveling up. And then one day, without warning, you return, not to explain, not to reconcile, not to fight, but to dominate. Your silence gave you time. Your silence built the empire. Every betrayal taught me this: the loudest revenge is no revenge. The loudest response is no response. The loudest scream is absolute silence, because silence forces them to face themselves. And most people can't handle their own reflection. They wanted you to break. You disappeared. They wanted you to beg. You went cold. They wanted you to fight. You refused. Now they're left screaming into nothing. Understand, the silence doesn't just protect you, it sharpens you. When you stop talking, you start listening. When you stop reacting, you start observing. When you stop explaining, you start moving. Silence is focus. Silence is clarity. Silence is execution. Noise is distraction. Noise is weakness. Noise is surrender. I don't need them to know what I'm doing. I don't need them to see what I'm building. I don't need their applause, approval, or attention. Everything grows stronger in silence. Muscles grow in silence. Discipline grows in silence. Revenge grows in silence. When I'm silent, I'm untouchable. When I'm silent, I'm unpredictable. When I'm silent, I'm free. The truth is simple: noise is for the insecure. Silence is for the dangerous. You don't announce your moves when you know they'll shake the world. You don't broadcast your pain when you're turning it into fire. You don't beg for closure when you are the closure. That's silence, that's power. So I stopped defending myself. I stopped correcting their lies. I stopped chasing explanations. And now, my silence does what my words never could. It haunts them, it confuses them, it destroys them. Because nothing kills like absence. Nothing wounds like irrelevance. Nothing ends someone faster than realizing they don't matter anymore. You want to win. Stop talking. You want power. Stop responding. You want revenge. Stop explaining. Be silent. Build. Return, and when you do, let your silence speak louder than every word they ever threw at you. I don't fight with words anymore. My silence is the blade that cuts the deepest. Pain isn't an accident. Pain isn't random. Pain is the fucking teacher I never asked for, but the only one that never lied to me. Pain stripped me down, ripped me apart, and showed me the raw truth of who I am. And the truth is simple: I can take it. I can take more than anyone thinks I can. That's why I win. Every time life breaks you, you get a choice: crawl back into weakness or turn that pain into a weapon. Most people crawl, most people cry, most people beg. But not me. I stopped begging the second I realized no one was coming to save me. Not friends, not family, not love, nobody. Pain was the only one that stayed. Discipline is born from suffering. You don't build strength when you're comfortable. You don't build focus when everything is soft and easy. You build it when your heart feels like it's splitting, when your trust is gone, when you're staring at the ceiling wondering why the fuck you keep waking up just to hurt again. That's where discipline is forged. I don't fear pain anymore. I welcome it. Pain keeps me sharp. Pain keeps me grounded. Pain whispers, get up, move, don't stop. And I listen. I don't argue with it. I don't resist it. I let it carve me into something harder than anyone around me can understand. People avoid pain. They run from it. They numb it. They distract themselves with fake happiness, fake love, fake friends, fake peace. I do the opposite. I let pain in. I let it sit with me. I let it teach me everything comfort tried to hide. Pain is my fucking discipline. Pain told me the truth about people: they'll use you until you're empty, then act like you were never enough. Pain told me the truth about love: most of it is manipulation dressed as affection. Pain told me the truth about life: nobody gives a fuck if you break, the world keeps moving. So I stopped expecting mercy. I stopped expecting fairness. And that's when I became dangerous. You can't break someone who's already broken. You can't manipulate someone who's already seen every trick. You can't control someone who has nothing left to lose. That's me. That's why I don't flinch anymore. That's why I don't fold when things get hard. Pain taught me how to stay. Discipline isn't about motivation. Motivation fades the moment pain hits. Discipline is what keeps you moving when you want to die inside. Discipline is what forces you to keep grinding when every cell in your body screams for rest. Discipline is looking pain in the face and saying, "Good, you're mine now. I stopped chasing pleasure a long time ago. Pleasure is weak. Pleasure is temporary. Pleasure distracts you, numbs you, makes you soft. Pain hardens you. Pain clears your vision. Pain strips the bullshit out of your life and leaves only what matters. Pain is pure. Pain is honest. Pain doesn't lie. Every betrayal was a lesson in patience. Every heartbreak was a lesson in control. Every failure was a lesson in endurance. I don't see losses anymore. I see repetitions. I see training. I see my mind turning into steel while everyone else is still soft, still crying, still asking, why me? Why me? Because life doesn't give a fuck, that's why. And here's the truth. The more you run from pain, the weaker you get. The weaker you get, the more you suffer. That cycle never ends until you flip it. Until you decide pain isn't the enemy. Until you use it. Discipline is born in that decision. The decision to stop avoiding and start enduring. I use pain to build habits. I use pain to stay consistent. I use pain to remember that comfort is the slowest poison. I don't want easy. I want the grind. I want the pressure. I want the pain that everyone else avoids. Because that's where power is. That's where transformation is. Pain turned me into someone people can't understand. They think I'm cold. They think I'm heartless. They think I'm obsessed. They're right, I am all of that. Because I don't play the same game anymore. I'm not chasing validation, love, or approval. I'm chasing strength, and the only fuel I trust is pain. You think discipline is about waking up early, hitting the gym, doing the work. That's just the surface. Real discipline is mental. Real discipline is telling your emotions to shut the fuck up and keep moving. Real discipline is living without the crutches people build their lives around. Real discipline is being alone in silence with pain and not breaking. I used to hate pain, now I respect it. Pain became my clock, my alarm, my trainer, my commander. Pain doesn't let me skip days. Pain doesn't let me quit. Pain doesn't let me lie to myself. Pain keeps me honest. Pain keeps me disciplined. So when you look at me and wonder why I don't fold like the rest, why I don't drown in heartbreak, why I don't lose my mind in betrayal, the answer is simple. I already let pain destroy me, and when it was done, I built myself out of the rubble. Stronger, colder, smarter, unstoppable. Pain is my discipline. Without it, I'm just another broken person crying for help. With it, I'm untouchable, and that's the difference. If pain is the enemy to you, you'll keep losing. If pain is your discipline, you'll never fucking stop. You think they're worth your time. They're not. You think they'll come back. They won't. And even if they do, you're not supposed to care. The weakness dies the moment you stop chasing the begging, the calling, the crying into nothing. That ends now. You don't run after anyone who already walked away. You don't hold on to hands that already let go. Because chasing isn't love. Chasing is desperation. And desperation is the ugliest scent you can carry. People smell it and they run. I don't chase, I replace. Everything I lost, I replace. Not with the same, not with the cheap copy of what betrayed me. I replace with better, stronger, colder. I replace with silence that screams louder than words. When someone leaves, I don't fall apart. I fall forward. That empty space they created is where I build. That silence they left behind is where I sharpen. You thought you needed them. You thought you couldn't live without them. But here you are. Still breathing, still standing, still alive. The truth, you never needed them. You only thought you did. You built your world around someone who never planned to stay. That was your mistake, and it won't happen again. The old you chased, the old you begged, the old you thought loyalty meant lowering yourself to the dirt. That version of you is dead. Now it's simple, leave if you want. I'll replace you. I'll replace every fake friend, every lover, every person who thought I'd break without them. I don't break. I don't chase. I don't wait. I replace. And what I replace you with isn't always a person. Sometimes it's discipline. Sometimes it's solitude. Sometimes it's silence so heavy it crushes everything weak inside me. I fill the gaps with things that don't leave. Training doesn't leave. Work doesn't leave. Self-respect doesn't leave. You want to know why they left? Because they thought you'd chase. They thought you'd crawl. They thought you'd play the role of the desperate fool just to keep them around. And maybe once you did. But not now. Not anymore. I don't chase, I replace. The harsh truth is this: people don't value what they don't fear losing. When you make someone your entire world, they see you as disposable. When you beg, they see you as worthless. When you wait, they see you as weak. So stop waiting, stop chasing, stop lowering yourself, start replacing. You don't replace out of revenge. You don't replace to prove a point. You replace because you know your worth doesn't stop at someone's absence. You replace because everything you thought they gave you is already inside you. Respect yourself enough to walk away. Build enough that no one's exit leaves you empty. Replace until the idea of chasing feels insulting. Understand this: the world doesn't stop for your heartbreak. The world doesn't pause for your betrayal. Time keeps moving, and so do I. If you left, you're gone. If you betrayed me, you're forgotten. If you thought I'd break, you were wrong. I don't chase, I replace. And here's the coldest part: replacements don't always look like people. Replacements look like progress. Replacements look like discipline. Replacements look like the silence of someone who refuses to be weak again. Every rep in the gym replaces the hand I'll never hold again. Every late night working replaces the fake friend I'll never trust again. Every step I take forward replaces the version of me that stayed behind, begging for scraps. I don't chase, I replace. So when they ask, how did you move on so fast? The answer is simple: I didn't wait, I didn't beg, I didn't sit in the ashes, I replaced. I replaced weakness with strength. I replaced desperation with discipline. I replaced heartbreak with hunger. And here's the final truth: once you learn this, once you truly live this, you become untouchable. No one can hold you hostage with their presence, and no one can destroy you with their absence, because everything is replaceable, everything but your self-respect. And if you ever forget that, remember this one line that burns into your head: I don't chase, I replace. You think losing them was the end. It wasn't. It was the start. That pain you felt when they walked away wasn't destruction. It was rebirth. You just didn't see it yet. They didn't take anything from you. They revealed everything about you: the weakness, the begging, the constant need to be validated. That was your sickness, and they were just the poison that forced you to face it. You didn't get abandoned. You got purified. You didn't get broken. You got stripped clean. You didn't get destroyed. You got rebuilt. Because here's the truth: you don't evolve when life is comfortable. You don't transform when you're loved. You evolve when you're betrayed. You evolve when you're left. You evolve when the silence around you is so loud that it forces you to face yourself. Every goodbye they threw in your face was just a mirror showing you who the fuck you really are. You begged for love. You begged for loyalty. You begged to be chosen. That version of you is dead now. That version of you was weak, and weakness had to die. Their loss wasn't a tragedy. It was a fucking upgrade. Because here's what happens when you're left behind: you stop waiting. You stop begging. You stop chasing. You start moving. You start building. You start becoming untouchable. Your silence becomes louder than their words. Your success becomes sharper than their rejection. Your existence becomes a reminder that they lost someone they will never replace. And don't get it twisted. They will try. They'll search for you in empty bodies, cheap distractions, fake love. They'll try to replace you with watered-down versions. But deep down they'll know. They'll know they threw away the rarest fucking thing they ever had. That's their curse. Your curse is gone. You are no longer begging to be wanted. You are no longer lowering yourself to be chosen. You are no longer dying just to feel alive in someone else's hands. This is the evolution. They lose you, and you become untouchable. They forget you, and you become unforgettable. They walk away, and you walk into a future where they don't exist. Because you don't build revenge with words. You build it with evolution. You build it with silence. You build it with the kind of growth they'll never reach. And when they look back, because they will, they'll realize the truth. Their biggest loss wasn't losing you. It was creating the version of you that doesn't need them anymore. Understand this. People don't really leave you. They just trigger the transformation you were too blind to give yourself. They don't destroy you, they expose you. They don't abandon you, they free you. So stop calling it heartbreak. Stop calling it betrayal. Stop calling it loss. Call it what it really is, evolution. Because when you finally accept that they did you a favor, you stop bleeding and you start building. You stop chasing and you start creating. You stop begging and you start owning. That's the real revenge. Not getting them back, not proving them wrong, but becoming someone they could never fucking deserve in the first place. And here's the dangerous part. The day you stop needing them is the day they realize they need you. The day you stop caring is the day they care the most. The day you evolve is the day they stay the same. And you will not go back, because evolution doesn't move backwards. So stand the fuck up. Stop crying over ghosts. Stop mourning people who are still alive but dead to you. Stop thinking their absence is your ending. It's not. It's the fire that forged you. They thought they were walking away from someone weak. They didn't know they were creating someone dangerous, someone disciplined, someone cold, someone untouchable. That's you now. That's the version they created by leaving. So when you think about them, don't think about the nights you begged. Don't think about the times you broke. Don't think about the tears, the silence, the pain. Think about this. Without them leaving, you'd still be blind. Without them leaving, you'd still be begging. Without them leaving, you'd still be weak. Their loss is your evolution, and your evolution is their punishment. Let them drown in replacements. Let them choke on regret. Let them try to find you in people who will never measure up. You won't be there. You won't be reachable. You won't be waiting. You'll be gone, upgraded, unstoppable. Because the truth is simple. They lost you, and you found yourself. They gave up on you, and you gave birth to yourself. They abandoned you, and you became your own fucking army. So let them talk. Let them remember. Let them regret. You don't need them. You don't need closure. You don't need revenge. You only need evolution. Their loss created me. My evolution will haunt them forever. Revenge isn't about screaming. It isn't about proving a point. It isn't about begging someone to see your worth. Revenge is about silence. It's about cutting off every ounce of your old weakness and turning it into a weapon they'll never understand. You don't need to tell them shit. You don't need to show them anything. Your existence, your evolution, your survival. That's the only revenge that matters. The loudest revenge is not confrontation. The loudest revenge is success so quiet they can't trace it, strength so cold they can't touch it, and peace so sharp it kills their ego. You want to know how you break them. You vanish, you disappear. You walk away and you don't look back. You leave them standing in the ruins of their own choices while you become someone unrecognizable. Revenge without words means they don't get closure. They don't get answers. They don't get the satisfaction of seeing you crawl. You let them choke on silence. You let them live with the fact that they'll never know what's going on in your head, what's happening in your life, or how far you've gone without them. That unknown will burn them more than anything you could ever say. People want your anger. They want your breakdowns. They want to see you fall apart because it feeds their ego. Don't give them that. Don't feed them. Starve them. Starve them of your attention, your emotions, your explanations. Cut them off like they never existed. Make them question if they ever really knew you at all. Revenge is not shouting, it's silence. Revenge is not proving, it's becoming. Revenge is not winning arguments. It's winning in life. They expected you to crawl, you walk. They expected you to cry, you build. They expected you to break, you evolve. Every expectation they had for your destruction becomes fuel for your rebirth. That's revenge. When they thought you couldn't live without them, you lived better. When they thought you'd drown, you learned to breathe underwater. When they thought they broke you, you turned into something that can't be broken anymore. That's how you kill the past. Not with words, not with noise, but with cold, calculated silence. Understand this: silence is violence when it's controlled. Disappearance is war when it's intentional. You don't tell them what you're doing. You don't announce your moves. You don't broadcast your progress. You let time do the talking. You let results speak louder than rage. You let success haunt them every time they think of you. You don't chase revenge. You become revenge. Every workout, every dollar made, every moment of self-control, every discipline built in silence. That's the bullet. That's the knife. That's the strike they'll never see coming. And the best part, you don't even aim it at them. You aim it at yourself. You sharpen yourself until the past can't recognize you. This isn't about getting even. Getting even is for amateurs. This is about getting ahead. This is about becoming so far gone, so untouchable, that they can't even dream of catching up. By the time they realize what they lost, you'll be in a place so far above them, it'll feel like another universe. You don't post it. You don't talk about it. You don't brag. You don't announce. That's weakness. That's desperation. You don't need their validation. You don't need their reaction. You don't need shit from them. The moment you start trying to prove, you lose. The moment you stop giving a fuck, you win. Your silence will kill them louder than words ever could. Your absence will echo louder than any confrontation. Your success will hurt more than any insult. And the truth is, you don't even do it for them. You do it because you refuse to stay weak. You do it because you refuse to let betrayal define you. You do it because you refuse to die the same person they left behind. This is the ultimate revenge indifference. To walk so far into your own growth that their name means nothing. To erase their importance from your blood. To cut their memory out like a cancer and replace it with strength. They're not your enemy anymore. They're irrelevant. They're forgotten. They don't exist in your world. Revenge without words means you never need closure. You never need to explain. You never need to go back. They're already dead to you. And the silence you leave behind is the funeral they never get to attend. Revenge is not a scream. It's not a fight. It's not a message. It's not even a win. Revenge is a ghost. You become untouchable. You become unforgettable. You become the shadow of everything they feared you could be. So don't talk. Don't warn. Don't confront. Don't explain. Just disappear. Just rise. Just outgrow. That's the war. That's the knife. That's the only revenge that matters. Because in the end, silence always screams louder. They used to say no one survives alone. That's the lie they fed you, so you'd stay dependent, so you'd cling, so you'd break your own back carrying people who would never bleed for you. They wanted you soft. They wanted you begging. They wanted you to believe that love, friendship, family, validation were all oxygen. But I've been suffocating my whole life on other people's air. And now I've learned the truth. I breathe just fine when I cut them off. People don't leave because you're unworthy. They leave because they're weak. They betray because they're cowards. They disappear because they never had the strength to stand next to you when shit got heavy. And you know what? That's not your problem anymore. Every fake smile, every broken promise, every hand that let go when you needed it most, none of it matters now. Because I don't need anyone anymore. Dependence is death. Expectation is death. Every time you waited for someone to show up, you died a little. Every time you begged for loyalty, you died a little. Every time you thought someone would save you, you buried yourself deeper. That grave is full of your old self. That self is gone, dead, buried. Now it's silence. Silence is survival. Silence is discipline. Silence is the kill switch. You don't call, you don't text, you don't explain, you cut. You vanish. You sharpen. You rebuild. In the quiet, you discover power they'll never touch. While they're busy showing off, you're busy becoming untouchable. Love didn't save me. Friendship didn't save me. Family didn't save me. The truth. No one saved me. I dragged myself out of my own grave. I stitched my own wounds. I stared down nights of rage, loneliness, and the kind of pain that makes people beg God for mercy. And I didn't get mercy. I got stronger. I got colder. I got free. You don't need closure. You don't need apologies. You don't need them to understand what they did. You don't need them to regret it. Stop waiting for people to realize your worth. They never will. And even if they do, it's too late. The door is sealed. The bridge is burned. The road doesn't lead back. I don't need anyone anymore because I know what people really are. They love you when it's easy. They support you when it benefits them. They stand by you until the storm hits, then they run, they vanish, they betray. And still you survived. That's why you're dangerous now. You've already lived through abandonment, through heartbreak, through betrayal, through every fucking knife in your back. And you're still standing. That makes you a weapon. People think strength is about lifting heavy shit or posting motivational garbage online. No, real strength is walking through hell with nothing but scars and still keeping your head straight. Real strength is being left alone, forgotten, humiliated, and instead of crawling back, you rise without asking for help. Real strength is silence. Real strength is becoming someone who doesn't flinch, doesn't beg, doesn't wait. I don't need anyone anymore because I've already buried the weak version of myself, the one who cared too much, the one who broke down over texts that never came, the one who trusted too easily, forgave too quickly, gave too much. That version of me was slaughtered. What's left is ruthless. What's left doesn't chase. What's left doesn't explain. What's left is pure discipline. Let them talk. Let them laugh. Let them think you're bitter. Let them call you cold. Because while they waste breath, you're building a life they'll never touch. While they're distracted, you're sharpening. While they're running in circles, you're walking alone, straight, focused, unbreakable. You don't need a partner to validate you. You don't need friends to cheer for you. You don't need family to believe in you. You don't need anyone to clap for your progress, because applause is meaningless when silence is stronger. Every betrayal was a gift. Every heartbreak was a lesson. Every abandonment was training. Pain was the teacher, and it taught you the only truth worth knowing: you are enough on your own. More than enough. From here on, it's discipline over distraction, revenge without words, success without applause, strength without witnesses. You are the storm they never saw coming, because storms don't send warnings. So burn the bridges, cut the ties, erase the names, forget the promises. None of it matters anymore. What matters is the war inside of you. What matters is the discipline you build in silence. What matters is the cold truth: you are done needing anyone. And the world will feel that silence like a blade. I don't need anyone anymore, because when everyone left, I found the only person I could trust: myself. And that's all I'll ever fucking need.